Hi everyone, my name is Satyawani. My friend is Zarif. We want to talk about hunter-gatherer culture. The lifestyle known as a hunter-gatherer culture is a form of subsistence culture that involves obtaining one food from hunting, fishing and gather wild plants and animals as well as other forms of nutrition such as honey. All humans continue to engage in hunting and gather activity up until about 12 years ago. The San people, as also a Bushmen, are one of the oldest, most culturally rich indigenous group of South Africa. They have lived in the region of thousands of years as a rich cultural heritage of reflect their deep spiritual connecting to the land and the environment. The origin of the San people is also non-documented, but it believed that they have lived of South Africa of at least 20 years. During this time, they developed a unique subsistence strategy, hunting, fishing, gathering that well suitable to their environment. The San people were highly adapted and were able to survive in the Southern African environment through their intimate knowledge of the land and their deep understanding of the environment. The hunter-gatherer culture is subsistence lifestyle that have been practiced by human community of thousands of years. This way of life relief the hunting, fishing, gathering wild plants, other food as a primary meaning of the substance. The hunter culture are the often characterized by the nomadic, semi-nomadic lifestyle are the contrary of the agriculture and pasture culture, which really cultivating growth and lifestyle time for food. Today, some integrating communities still practice hunter-gatherer lifestyle. These communities offer value into the history and defining human subsistence strategy. Hunter-gatherer culture are important as a human history of the offer value inside the different subsistence strategy that have been developed by the community over time. In the assignment, I will explore the hunter culture of the Pribumi of the San people South Africa as an example of the contemporary hunter-gatherer culture. One of the example of the contemporary hunter-gatherer culture in the Pribumi or San people of Southern Africa, the San have lived the religion of thousands of the years have a deep spiritual connection on the land. They believe that living things, the spirit, and they are respect the animals, they hunt, plant, they are gather. This respect of the nature is reflected in the sustained practice which have allowed them to in the religion of the millennials. Challenging the Pribumi of the life, the way of facing numerous challenges due to the environment different particularly deforestation. The description of the tropical rainforest of Borneo where the restriction only the substance but also the cultural heritage and the spiritual belief, the forest of source of the medicine and spiritual fulfillment for the Pribumi and the describing the way of the life culture indicated. In conclusion, the Pribumi and other hunter-gatherer culture play the practical role in the preventing cultural heritage and biodiversity. By protecting the environment and traditional subsistence practice, we can preserve culture and ensure that our plants remain healthy and diverse for the future generation.
Hi, I'm Siti Nuzar binti Muhammad Razan. In conclusion, the hunter-gatherer culture of the Pribumi or the San of people of Southern Africa is an excellent example of a contemporary hunter-gatherer culture. The San have a deep spiritual connection to the land, and their subsistence practice are based on a respect for nature and a deep understanding of the environment. They rely on hunting, fishing, and gathering for their food, and use a variety of skill and technique to meet their needs. Despite the challenges they face, the San are working to preserve their cultural heritage and way of life for future generations. And their story offers valuable insight into the diversity of human subsistence strategy and the importance of preserving cultural heritage and biodiversity. In conclusion, the purpose of this assignment was to provide me with the opportunity to investigate the hunter-gatherer culture of the Pribumi, also known as the San people who live in Southern Africa, and to contemplate the significance of hunter-gatherer culture in the context of human history, particularly with regard to the protection of culture, heritage, and biodiversity.